Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our coverage of Love Island Beyond the Villa here on RHAP. Today, we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 2 of Love Island Beyond the Villa. I'm Kirsten MacInnis, joined as always by the great Brian Scally. Scally, how are you?
Hello. I'm so good. Ready to be diving into the second episode already. Feels like it was just yesterday that we were talking about the first one. So I'm so excited to dive in here.
Yeah, it really does feel like it was just yesterday. But thankfully, we have more Beyond the Villa to get into because honestly, I did want more after watching episode 1, which is a great sign for a new reality show.
It is. I feel like they, although had been in front of the cameras every single day of their lives for a good 6 weeks last summer, took a little bit of a readjustment period. I think this is different in that last time there were just basically spy cams set up around them 24/7. This has in-person, people operating with like shoulder giant microphones and a little like boom mic. So I think that's probably a little bit of a different experience. And I felt like you could tell that a number of them were more comfortable in this episode.
Yes, I agree. I do think this, like the production of this show is very much giving like 2003 to me, complimentary. And so it's, even though it's a new show about people we only met last year, I feel like it gives big nostalgia vibes to like a prior era of reality TV.
It's interesting because these people have been on reality TV, obviously, but not in this context. So it's, are they kind of like we're getting in on the ground floor of a Vanderpump Rules? Is that what we're doing right now? Or is this like season 2? It's tough to say.
I also am like, we keep talking like, oh, season 2, they'll do this, season 2, they'll do that. I also low-key get the vibe that this was maybe a one-off for the Love Island season 6 people. And like, what would it be like with the season 7 people? I don't know. So we'll have to see about that.
JaNa was on live with Rob being like, Rob, you should totally do season 2, come back.
Okay,
So
messy queen.
I don't know if it's discussed at all, but it seems like maybe at least some people are open to doing a second season.
JaNa with the exclusive. And I love that for us and for her because I feel like JaNa is just such a star. And it's not like I forgot. It's just been so long since we've gotten to actually really watch her that I'm like, oh yeah, everything she says is hilarious. And she serves drama. I love her so much.
Really, really good in the confessionals. And she knows if she wants screen time, she's going to have to involve herself in other people's drama. So thank you, JaNa.
She's a smart lady. So this episode starts in such a silly way. So we had Kendall and Liv are in Liv's apartment and they're setting up like some snacks and treats. She's like, oh, I've got to get the Tim Tams, just a reminder that she's Australian in case you don't remember. And then JaNa comes over and she's like, oh, well, I eat 24 hours a day, so I bring my own snacks. And she just like dumps out a ton of candy onto the table and starts eating her own candy instead of any of the prepared snacks.
A snack every hour on the hour. Honestly, it's kind of a good lifestyle. So good for JaNa.
She's correct for that.
I thought it was interesting that Kendall said that he basically lives here in what appears to be Liv's giant apartment.
I need to know more about the Kendall Liv dynamic because from everything that we officially know, they're not hooking up or anything like that. But they really do be giving me that vibe. Like, are Kendall and Liv soulmates is what I'm worried about. Like, and we just didn't even know.
That's the thing, is I'm wondering if is this the cursed version of Nicolandria where we're like, we see it, we all see it and you don't.
Absolutely the cursed version. That's hilarious. And yeah, so he did meet a woman at the Love Island party, which once again was definitely a real party that existed in the world. And he's going to go on a date. He is excited because she's very pretty. And he's like, I'm like 6'1". And Liv immediately is like, Air Forces.
a good little dig. You know what? That's fine, King. You keep your Air Forces on.
Not keep your Air Forces on.
That's if he wants to claim it.
Well, I want to know, like, what's his official height on the record?
That I don't know if that is one of the questions that they provide in the cast bios.
Ugh, I gotta go minus AI.
Oh my god.
Because
I don't
AI is
think
like,
this
he's
is
6'1", and I'm like, okay, I know that's not true.
yeah. That search was not worth the bottle of water it just cost. So I don't know,
Not
but
me being the problem. Oh my god.
if Kendall wants to say he's 6'1", I'm gonna let my boy say he's 6'1".
I think he's closer to 6'1" than Ace is to 5'10".
I don't know. Ace has been maintaining in interviews he's 5'10". It just is that Shelly is 5'7".
No. Did you not see the TikTok mathematicians doing all of the calculations based on sriracha bottles and shoes?
I saw, but why would Ace lie?
Okay, fine. We're just believing men now. That's crazy. I'm pretty sure Leah specifically said in this episode of Love Island Beyond the Villa not to do that. So.
Look, it happens. Now, I thought this was interesting because Kendall brings up this girl that he met at the Love Island party, the official one, multiple times in this episode. And it does give a flashback to the party. It gives a flashback to the date, which we never saw in the first place. And I'm like, this is giving. Why is Kendall low-key very serious about this after talking to her for 3 minutes?
I think he's thirsty for love and affection.
Kendall, the memo, we're doing hot girl summer. We're not locking it down.
But I feel like it also would be, especially when he's like the third to JaNa and Kenny, not in like a relationship way, but like he's just always with them. I mean, we don't know about the relationship. I'm not alleging anything besides that they hang out all the time. It can be really hard to be a third wheel. And so I can also see being like, it would be so great to be in a relationship so that we can just double date and hang out all the time and it will be more natural and fun. I can see that.
I can see that. I just was surprised that he dove so headfirst. I mean, he did dive pretty quickly with Nicole when things were working out there. So I guess, can we be so shocked?
He's a lover boy, kind of.
He's a little bit of a lover boy. I do think he is.
We do also get here. This is where JaNa is like, oh, hey, this is so funny, y'all. I guess Connor actually did apologize to me via the DMs, but I just never saw it. And, you know, honestly, if you're rude to someone publicly, you should actually apologize publicly too. So also here's why that apology is not good enough.
So, okay.
I don't disagree.
Where do you stand?
I do think just given the sheer number of media outlets that Connor was talking shit about JaNa to, he maybe should have done a little notes app on the grid or something at the very least. In addition to a private apology. Like, I think you have to do both.
I think you do have to do both, but I think that in general, you're probably going to want to say, like, in the DM, like, hey, I want to, and like, I will do the public apology. I just want to like make it clear, like, what you're good with me saying, not saying. If he just starts posting tweets like, I'm so sorry, JaNa, please forgive me. Like, I feel like that's also going to come off very not genuine at the same time. If he is only doing that and she never saw the DM and she's like, well, if you are sorry to me, then why haven't you tried to reach out to her or something like that? So I think, yes, true. A public, disrespect does deserve a public apology, but it also, I think, deserves a private apology where it is a little more genuine and personal. And so I'm kind of like, well, then maybe we let him do the public apology now on this show.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you definitely need to do both. Like, I think the private apology first, and then be like, and also I want to make it clear publicly as well that we've spoken and I've apologized to you. But I also feel like he's not going to be allowed to do that because she has also said that there was a window to apologize and he missed it. So I think it's just curtains for Connor and JaNa.
But like, when would he have? He has not seen her before this. This is the first time he is seeing her, and is the first, I mean, I guess other than the reunion, should have at the reunion, really is the real one.
I mean, I guess it's also just like, I don't know. I feel like it's okay if she just wants to be mad.
I totally agree. If she said, look, there's no bad blood, I just don't want to speak to this person, it's not someone I'm interested in having in my life, totally fair.
But it is funny to be like, well, you missed the window, and then you find out he did actually apologize in the window, and you're like, oh, but it was in private.
I think there will always be a qualifier for at least right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this will get resolved at some point. Maybe it's a season 2.
Here's the thing. I kind of don't even want it to be resolved. I think the drama of like one person just completely hating another person and the other person being like, oh, I don't know. Like, that's a fun dynamic. And also, it's clear to me that none of these people give a single fuck about Connor anyway.
I don't disagree, but I think that if that's the case, then there should still be like required filming. And so if Connor's birthday is one of those required filmings, like everyone has to show up, whether you are speaking to him or not.
I thought the bowling was funny. It's okay.
We could have
maybe
had
next
both.
year. Maybe next year the filming is required at Connor's birthday.
I'm speaking much more from a show perspective than a personal relationship perspective. Obviously, if you would rather go bowling and not hang out with Connor, do that. But from the show perspective, get all of these people together. Why were they not all together at all in this episode?
That's true. I think because they maybe gave them too much of a say on if they went to the birthday party or not. But I also just think it is extremely, extremely funny to be like, okay, the event of the week is this birthday party. And then 4 of the main cast are like, oh, sorry, we've got other plans. And the other plans are bowling in a abandoned bowling alley. It's not like it's like, oh, we were really waiting for this lane time.
No. Which I felt bad. Connor did express that he had hoped that like Miguel and Cordell would show up at least. You know, he obviously wanted Kenny, but doesn't feel like Kenny would not stand by JaNa by going there as well. But he was hoping. And I feel like if Miguel and Cordell really wanted to go, they could have. I just don't know that they're particularly close with Connor, it seems.
I don't think so. I just don't think that they're that like Connor was barely on Love Island. Like he was not there long and he again did some weird stuff. And so that is naturally going to impact your relationships with the rest of the people.
He had a good 10, 12 episodes. So,
was it really that many?
It was more than one, because even I think like Andrea was 5, but I think that he had a little bit. He was a decent part of the storyline, and I actually think that I'm happier that we have other storylines on this show. Like I do think it's important to have people that don't get along, that have different things going on. So I'm not as annoyed that he is here as some people are.
Yes, I agree. We also like the core thing of this episode, is still Liv and Kaylor are still beefing. They have not talked since the party. Like Liv says to JaNa and Kendall, like, I do want to make it work, but it really hurt me that I was approached in a public setting like that. And I don't even really know. Like I've never laughed at Kaylor when she was upset, and now Kaylor laughed at me when I was upset. And JaNa's like, well, do you want me to like push Kaylor? And Liv's like, no, like I want Kaylor to want to fix it.
It was interesting here because I thought that this episode did a good job of letting us in more on Liv's side, because I think last episode was very much through Kaylor's point of view, and here we got from Liv like, yeah, I probably should have texted Kaylor, but also I knew she had plans to get a spray tan that night, and so she's not coming out when she gets a spray tan. Which, did you know this? I did not keep track of when going out is available after a spray tan.
Well, this is very important. It depends on the type of spray tan you're getting for sure. But you can get like spray tans that develop more quickly and then you can shower them off faster. Okay. But oftentimes people get a spray tan and then you just like hang out at home and you sleep in it and then you wash it off the next morning. And like the longer it's on you, the more it develops darker than what you will actually look like. So you would probably not want to go out because you may look like you are in brown face because it has developed so dark. But then when you wash it off, it looks normal, right? It's because there's a little bit of bronzer in the formula itself. And so it like you put it on, it gradually darkens, and then you wash it off, and then you have like your tan for the week. And your tan will last longer if you let it develop longer. Because basically the way, and I'm acting like I'm an expert on spray tans. I just like saw a TikTok literally last week explaining how it works because I have had exactly one spray tan in my life, and it took forever to get it off of my body because it would not scrub off, and I looked like I had a skin condition. But so basically, you like are dying, like the skin cell itself is like altered by the spray tan. And so that's why you want to like really exfoliate before you get a spray tan, and then keep your skin super moisturized while you have the spray tan to extend its life. Because when that cell like dies and gets, you know, sloughs off, that will be your normal skin color again. And so like people will let it develop longer so that it stays darker.
I genuinely had no idea. Me and JaNa are really learning things today. Who was the spray tan artist on last season? Because I think you might be qualified as well.
Well, it was Iris, first of all. I'm not qualified. I can tell you like how to prep your skin if you're gonna go get a spray tan, but like I would not be qualified to mix the chemicals and spray them on someone's body.
I would imagine that it also might get very streaky if you were to be sweating if you go out to a crowded club.
Yeah, it would look streaky for sure. Like you would have like rivulets of spray tan coming down off of you. But here's the thing.
I see Liv's point a lot more given this.
I think Liv might be lying again.
Oh.
Because was it not just last episode where Liv said, well, you didn't tell me you were getting a spray tan? And suddenly she knows the when and where of Kaylor's spray tan, keeping her from going out?
Interesting. You're really a detective. You and JaNa would be a deadly force on this. I'm wondering, because I'm wondering how far apart these events were, because were this two separate instances of a spray tan? I feel like usually you're not getting them that often, so I don't know. But I don't know how much you're re-upping on your spray tan. But for a minute, I was drawn in by Liv. I felt like Liv got a chance to tell her side of the story. And at this point, I was like, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't have told Kaylor.
Well, I mean, I think I would have thrown a text. But I also was like, I got so immediately annoyed because we also find out that something happened to Liv the night of the birthday party that broke her heart, and was some sort of issue with this athlete man that we do not know what it is. When they asked Liv in confessional, she wouldn't tell them. And when they asked Kaylor in confessional, she said, I can't, Liv will be so mad at me. And so I'm like, you can't just say there's this like third party issue that you're so upset about and then not tell us anything on the show. Give me a category of thing that broke your heart. It doesn't even have to be the specifics.
Like, I'm sorry. I would say you're not a Kardashian, but the Kardashians share way more embarrassing things than these people are willing to. Like, if we want to do this show, I gotta know what's going on. And you could even not mention the name, but say we got into a fight, or we had a falling out, or there was drama because of this, this, and this. Like, give me something vague. Even if you lie to me and say something lesser, so I have something to hold on to. I do think it's interesting that Liv like texts Kaylor, and Kaylor is not there for her. I understand Kaylor is saying that no, she was mad in that moment too, so what's she gonna do? But kind of feel like if it was somewhat serious as it seems, then you kind of just deal with that if that's your friend.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I'm like, is it that serious?
I don't know. Well, why would Kaylor think that she can't say it if it's not serious?
I mean, because she knows that Liv doesn't want it to be talked about.
I think I came away from this episode more on Liv's side than I was.
I think it's the fact that like Liv has now had the opportunity to think about it, and she's put out a statement basically that's like, yes, I was wrong, comma, but it was just so embarrassing to be brought up in a public place at a party. And it's like, it was going to be brought up in public no matter what because you are on a TV show. So I'm not really necessarily buying the party line. Not saying that like Kaylor's right about everything and that there's no like nuance to the whole conflict, because again, I really do just think they have a sister relationship and so they are fighting like sisters, and it is not making sense because we don't have the full context of like what's going on.
Yeah, I think it would be good to revisit them when we get to the whole party of it all. I would say this really episode does start to separate even more because
Yes.
normally you're already having like Liv and Kaylor and Kendall and Connor and Aaron, with other side being PPG and their boys. But now Kaylor is going ahead and meeting up with Leah and Serena. They are talking about who might get married first. Looks like they're in agreement. It might be Leah and Miguel.
And I do believe that's what I also
You
said.
did?
So love that for me. Uh and Leah's literally like, "Oh, I sometimes worry that like Miguel is too good for me. Like he's too nice." And that just like broke my heart because obviously everyone deserves to be treated so well. And she says Miguel is healing something he didn't break, which I think is so sweet. Like I swooned. I just think they're such a sweet couple.
It was really cute, especially when later we get to see a scene of Miguel riding Leah's horse Valentino for the first time. Now, Kirsten, I don't know if you were in the weeds like I was on TikTok post Love Island season 6, but there was some drama surrounding Valentino after the season.
What was the drama?
The drama was that people were upset because Leah had talked about how important her horse was to her and how she barely lets anyone ride Valentino. And Miguel was not yet living with Leah in California yet. But stories came out on TikTok of Leah having Rob ride Valentino, and it was seen by people as disrespectful to Miguel.
I did actually know about this, but I forgot about it on account of it being fucking stupid.
So dumb. So dumb. Yeah, obviously. No, I do think that like Leah's not just renting out Valentino for children's birthday parties, but
No.
at the same time, like if you are a close friend, I think that it's okay.
Well,
Or
and
like
Rob is like a country guy. He knows how to
true,
ride a horse. It's not like it was a like I think letting Miguel have a first time riding lesson is way more impactful than like, oh, I let this man who already knows how to ride horses borrow my horse.
yeah,
My
that is
elderly
very true.
horse.
Oh, I don't know what's considered elderly, but either way, Valentino looking very distinguished at 21.
21 is getting up there.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I am happy he seems healthy. And so I did think it was cute, though. And I know Leah also is a big advocate for safety when riding horses. So she does make sure his helmet's on, it is buckled. And it's really cute seeing him grin like a little child riding around on this horse.
No, it's so beyond sweet. I like this added nothing to like the storyline of
Yep.
of Beyond the Villa, but it was just so sweet to see. I'll take any cutesy interaction between any of the couples, and maybe especially Leah and Miguel, but maybe not especially, but they're up there.
I would say that if they're not going to share something, they can be the couple that is like the reprieve in the drama. It's like, oh, we go to them for one cute little moment and then go back to the drama.
I loved they were like visiting all the pigs and the pigs were like running away from Leah. I thought that was really cute. And I love like Leah is an animal lover. She does not discriminate. She is so excited about every single animal she sees. She really cares about them. She talks in this episode about fostering dogs after the LA fires. Like, she just really is wonderful with animals, which does come up because
quite a bit.
Serena's having issues with the cat.
That is Serena and Cordell's storyline this episode. Serena is asking, like, do you like cats? Because I'm about to have to live with someone for the next 20 years of my life who has a cat that is only 2 years old, and I'm terrified of them.
To be fair, a 2-year-old cat is like, they're in their peak menace era. Like, give that cat like one more year and it will calm down a lot.
My absolute favorite part of the episode is so Serena talks about how she was attacked by a cat. And this cat looks suspiciously like Cordell's cat that he has now. And when she was younger, it leapt into the air and it grabbed onto her hair and held onto her braids, and it really scared her. Now, what they do is they put up a picture of Cordell's cat side by side with a quote unquote artist rendering of the cat that looks like Cordell's cat. And it did make me giggle.
It was very silly and funny. I did like that. And I like how people are like, oh, wow. And that cat looks just like that cat, as if there's not like maximum 6 patterns of cat that you
AKA it was orange. Period.
And orange cats are so special. They really do share one brain cell amongst all orange cats on the planet.
Aww.
And at the time, if Serena's braids were very long, I can absolutely see a cat being like, oh, it's a string, because cats love to play with string.
It was, look, I don't think anyone is really condemning the cat right now.
Listen, I don't want to blame the victim, but maybe you wear your hair up around a strange cat.
No. I don't think that is the takeaway at all. I think, you know what? It was good to see that this is not the only pet storyline of the episode. And the continued conversation, it feels like Serena is very willing to get to know Cordell's cat, and even brings up the conversation of where will this cat be living when Cordell goes and is working for the next month.
Yes, because, okay, so this is the weird part too, because I feel like Serena keeps saying they don't live together, but also all of his stuff is at her house and he's there all the time. And so I am a little confused about their official living situation.
So I think it's that, is he from Dallas? I think it's that he basically lives with her whenever he's in LA. This is my assumption based off of all the information that we have. It feels like he's in LA with her almost all of the time and lives with her when he's there, but he technically still has his apartment in Dallas. So when he finally does make the move, all of his stuff, including his cat, will be coming with him to Serena's apartment.
Okay, and they're going to be apart for a month, which is the longest they'll have been apart, which makes me think that this cat is not getting his full-time love and affection. Bring the cat to LA.
I know. So I'm wondering if the cat was already living with Cordell's sister, which seems to potentially be the plan while he is in Atlanta. He has an opportunity, really 2 big opportunities. We only hear about one, though, where he's going to be a part of a scripted series. So that's something that Cordell's been a part of. We even get to see some of his acting. Him and Serena are filming a commercial for CeraVe, which I don't think they make clear in both of the shoots that they do. They're like, we're doing a shoot and don't say what. It's like no free advertising.
It was so funny too. Okay, so there's a line at the start of the commercial where Serena goes, "Who's Sarah? Ceramides." Like, I've seen you talking to them, which is like, ceramides are a extremely trendy skincare edition right now. I gotta tell you, this is the acting that Cordell is bringing to a TV series. Look, I've got some concerns.
Don't come at my king. Let him act.
Is the acting in the room with us?
Maybe he was given direction and it wasn't his fault.
Maybe. Well, we'll have to see when his scripted series comes out.
That's what I'm saying.
We also have JaNa and Kaylor are doing a photo shoot for something, but they did not tell us what it was. Once again, no free advertising.
That's the thing, because I remember this ad even airing during Love Island, and like I paused the episode at one time and Peacock like showed me a still of them like laying in, I think it's a makeup ad, maybe it was the Maybelline episode actually, if I'm remembering correctly, but it was funny because this is a storyline we have started to get, in that Kaylor is single and she wants her hot girl summer, but also she's making out with boys in porta potties. Was it Stagecoach?
No, porta potty was at Coachella.
Yes.
I don't make out with anybody in a porta potty ever. I just think that's like a line that I've drawn. But yeah, Kaylor's liking this guy, but also she wants hot girl summer. But I know that Kaylor is dating someone now in real life, but
I
I
don't want to know
don't
who.
think it's this guy.
Okay.
But I
Have you ever
don't know
heard?
for sure because I know whoever she's dating now, I think they met at Stagecoach. And so to hear
Oh,
that this was like in at Coachella, I'm like,
interesting.
this isn't adding up to me. But I also could be wrong because I don't get that much Kaylor content on my FYP. It's only occasional that I get her. I get Leah and Serena way, way more.
So now I need to know who she was making out with in a porta potty at Stagecoach to find out who she's dating now, because
Well, I hope it wasn't a porta potty.
we don't have, she has a track record. So I'm not confirming either way. But I can say for myself, I don't know the Montana Boys. Do you know the Montana Boys? Have they come across your For You page?
No, that is
Kaylor
not my
says,
algorithm.
she says that they are a group of boys who do thirst traps and the girls eat them up. And I was like,
Did
I don't
you
know.
know that boys is spelled with a Z in Montana
Did.
Boys?
I did. I did Google them. I paused the episode to go check out the Montana Boys. And I think I see why it's not necessarily on my For You page. So it makes sense there. I think maybe they are more Kaylor's type than mine, but that's fine.
I would agree with that. I think
Yeah.
that we can all agree that they're more Kaylor type than ours.
Handsome men, maybe just a little country.
Hey,
Or that's the vibe.
if Nicolandria doesn't work out, maybe Elandria will want one of those country
She finds a
boys.
cowboy, a Montana Cowboys.
That's her whole thing, you know? Not the Cowboys. But this is also where Kaylor is also talking to JaNa about the drama with Liv. And this is now both people in the two-person situation have told JaNa, we don't want to involve other people in the drama.
Yeah.
Like, we want to sort this out on our own. And JaNa said, not on my watch.
I think JaNa is doing a good job here, where even though Liv told her not to do it, she's like, I just hate seeing you fight. Wouldn't it be so nice if you made up? Well, do you think you should reach out to her soon? Like, so, Liv was really sad about it. So she's doing the most while pretending to do the least.
Yeah. She could do more, actually, I think.
Well, she, in fact, does do more later.
And I love her for it. We also have Kaylor's bestie from back home is Kaylee, and Kaylee is in this episode because Kaylor is just so lonely since all the Liv stuff has gone down. So Kaylee has come to stay with her. She also knows Liv, so that could be a harsh dynamic.
It's interesting because Kaylor, I think, does this a couple times of like, Kaylee, are you going to say hi to Liv? You should. You're friends with her, so you should. But like, also, I'm having a really hard time, but you should do this. It's like, I think multiple times it felt like Kaylor maybe wanted Kaylee to say that she's not going to say hi to Liv.
I feel like if Kaylee had said, no, I'm not going to say hi to her, Kaylor would have been like, no, you absolutely have to say hi to her because I don't want my drama impacting your friendship with her. And it's like, Kaylor, this is your childhood best friend. Yeah. She can be mad at Liv with you. It's fine.
Yeah. And apparently the last time that Kaylee saw Liv was at the famous camera incident, or like around that time. So she has not seen her since. So it's going to be a little awkward when she shows up to Connor's birthday party. Connor is here. Tim and Aaron are working out, and it is them talking about like if everyone's invited. Connor's really obsessed with getting Aaron a girlfriend.
Yeah, it's weird. It's giving weird because Aaron is talking about how, he hasn't been talking to anyone. He's been working on his own self, his own mental health, and it feels good. He does say that he's like scared to talk to women after his Love Island experience, to which I'm like, what? You're scared you're gonna gaslight someone again? Like, what do you mean you're scared? Like, the women actually should be afraid of you, sir.
Maybe he's like, I'm scared I'm gonna become that bad person again. Not to say that he was a terrible person, but start exhibiting that bad behavior. Maybe I'm scared that I'm going to put myself in a situation that I should not be in.
He's just scared he'll like them too much.
I don't know.
What are we doing? We're really going to see the best in people here? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, he's working on himself, and I like that he says he's been focusing on his mental health. He has really really been taking the time to do that. And if Aaron knows his boundary, I'm gonna let him make that decision rather than say it's time for Aaron to get back on the horse.
No, it doesn't matter what Aaron wants. There's someone you've forgotten to ask, and that's Connor.
Yes.
But should we just like I guess nothing really happens when JaNa, Kenny, and Miguel and Leah go bowling, but like they are bowling during the birthday party, and JaNa's like, "Oh, what? Is that kid's party today?" Like, oops, didn't know.
The only thing that happens is there is more discussion. We talk about Leah being involved in fostering dogs, but it turns out that JaNa and Kenny are going to be fostering a dog, which will be a great opportunity to test them as parents because JaNa wants 4 babies.
And it's like, JaNa's like, I've had dogs before, so I know what to do. I need to see that Kenny knows what to do. And Kenny's like, JaNa says that Kenny said that the dog could stay at JaNa's place, which, JaNa's not always 100% honest in retelling things. So we didn't get the footage, so we don't know what was said. And Kenny's like, no, I thought we would like share the dog. And like the dog would spend time at both of our places. It's like a perfect test to becoming parents. And then Leah starts talking about organizations to foster through.
What I think this is that JaNa says what she thinks is going to get the best result. And that result that she wants is to be closer to Kenny, to have this bond through the dog, but also to, as she says, she's had dogs before. I want to see how Kenny handles it. I want to see how Kenny is nurturing with a dog or maybe a child in the future. And so I think that JaNa saying like, well, Kenny was just trying to like pass this dog off on me is really like, Kenny, we're getting this dog because I'm testing you, not because I need to have a dog in LA.
Yeah. And Leah immediately is like, oh, well, we're starting on a bad foot, Kenny.
Leah's taking this very seriously. This dog needs to come into a happy and healthy home or homes as they are not living together.
Yeah, no, I mean, if there's one thing we know Leah takes seriously, it's animal care. And
Yes.
fostering pets is super important because shelters do not have capacity for all the pets that need homes. And so foster homes serve a very good purpose. And so I do understand her immediately taking that super seriously. JaNa also takes this opportunity to tell Leah that Kaylor unfollowed Liv on Instagram.
That's like real. That's when you know it's done. The unfollow on Instagram, because you're going public, and that's the thing is Liv was embarrassed that Kaylor did this at the Love Island party, but now it is worldwide. The unfollow on Instagram, people are going to notice that within seconds, the way these fans are.
They're dead ass. Like, people are watching who is following and unfollowing each other. Like, and this was before we had a new season of Islanders to be monitoring. So people had focused attention continuing.
I fully believe people have like written scripts to keep track and notify them when this happens. Like, it's way too figured out.
See, I wish I was a woman in STEM. And by that, I mean, I wish I could write scripts to find out who's following and unfollowing each other. That's what I need to know.
It's important information.
So JaNa is like, they have to fix this. And if they don't fix it, I will step in and I will handle the situation because I am not spending the whole summer with these two fighting.
I think I agree because especially the more that I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that the more Liv and Kaylor are not getting along, the less that they're going to film together. And so we have to split up PPG to film with them individually. And JaNa just wants to go film with her actual friends.
Yeah, I think that is a big, like, just logistically, it makes JaNa and PPG's summer worse. And also, it's probably really annoying to hear about this fight all the time because it's like, there's very valid trust issues and like concerns happening from both sides of the argument. But then when you talk about it, it's like, well, you lied about the camera. Well, you lied about glam. Well, you got a spray tan and you didn't tell me. And oh, I didn't invite you because you got a spray tan. And it's like, what are we doing here? That's not a fun, like, normally, like, my friends having fights, I'm down to rehash the whole thing every day. Like, let's go through it every single step. But this, I think, would be a struggle for me.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Now, while they are bowling, we have what is, I would say, supposed to be the big event of the episode in Connor's birthday. This is where everyone should be filming, but
Yeah.
about more than half the cast decides they don't want to go. And even the people that do go barely want to be there. It feels like I feel bad for Connor to that degree.
I feel a little bad for Connor, but I'm also like, Connor, don't you have any of your own friends that you
He
could
does.
invite
They're
to like fill
there.
this space out?
They're there. I'm sure that there is some level of filming permits and how many people can be there, and the film crew count as people that are occupying the space as well.
Mm-hmm. I just think all of this goes to show that it is not just JaNa who does not like Connor, because people would go to his party to be on the show, even if they like don't like him that much. To skip it altogether indicates that like he is just not part of the friend group.
In the group, well, let's talk about that because I think there's a couple of things there. I think he's not super close with all of them, obviously. Like, there's no reason. And I think that you'll even hear like Leah be like, he's fine. Like, JaNa was 2 days of your life, like Rob was 5 days of mine. I think Leah would have no issue going based off of that, but it's not worth it for her to go. It's not that she actually cares all that much about him. She even had a very small, brief romance with Connor. So, like, what's it to her? But you have some discussion from Aaron that I thought was super interesting, where Aaron talks about how he's trying to keep in mind that people have kind of changed after the villa. A lot of people want to be influencers. He tries to remember the people that he met on the show are the real ones and not the people that he sometimes sees post show, because he thinks the friend groups are determined based on follower count.
Yeah, he basically is like, there's the people with over a million, then there's the people from 500K to 1 million, and then like there's everyone else. And I'm like, I do kind of think the people with over a million, the friendship is part of why they got to over a million, not that they're friends because they have a million followers.
That's the thing, is what is the cause and what is the effect? Because I would say that the reason why primarily PPG and their boyfriends have more followers than everyone else on the cast is because they were friends and because they were popular, etc. And so their friendship was popular. Now,
Yeah.
I did go look, and like, it is noticeable that, let's say, like, Connor has 100,000, Aaron has 400,000. Like, Liv she's crossed the million, but Kaylor's under a million, Kendall's under a million. So there is a pretty clear delineation. I don't know that that is the reason for the delineation, but also they are probably getting invited to different events.
Yeah, they're definitely getting invited to different events. I stand firm in my opinion that the delineation is they
Obviously,
were
yes.
friends and the followers flowed from that. I do not think any of these people are making decisions on who to hang out with based on how many followers they have, except for perhaps Kendall trying to hang out with the people who have more followers.
I mean,
I
he's
do
not
think their
being very
friendships are legit
successful.
as well. Like, I don't think that's the only reason, but I think that it helps.
I'm not putting it past him. I just don't think he's being successful if that's what his goal is.
Kendall has always had such cringe social media. And so
Let
I
him do
think
his
that
TikTok dances.
if he dialed it back 5%, I think he would actually get a big increase in followers, like the cringe
Yeah.
level.
He's not super low on the rank of them, but he's in that minus 1 million club. So it is what it is. I agree. I don't think it is why, but I thought it was an interesting take from someone in the group, even if they also are kind of removed from the group for their behavior, not because of their follower account.
100%.
Yeah. Now, one of the other things that I thought was interesting here was the speed in which Kaylor wanted to introduce Kaylee to Aaron at this party.
And also, Kaylor's behavior with Aaron again was once again so weird. So she like walks up to him, but like goes to hug him, but then he doesn't hug her. But then she's like, "You went for a hug first. Like, don't be weird." And it's like, I think you may have initiated the hug, Kaylor, and that's okay. And Kaylor's like, "This is Kaylee, my best friend. Remember, you have her blocked on Instagram?" And he's like, no, I don't. And then like shows on his phone that Kaylee's not blocked. And Kaylor's like, they definitely were blocked. And it's like, yeah, he probably unblocked a bunch of people.
Like a long time ago.
That's fine.
I could
It
see him
doesn't
having
matter.
done it right before this party, but I also think he probably did it a little bit ago. My thing is, Kaylor talks a lot about how Liv lied to her one time in like not the biggest lie ever, and she can never trust her and never speak to her again, and the friendship will never be the same. But she's certainly seeking out quite the relationship with Aaron, even though he gaslit her for an entire summer to a much worse degree.
Listen, do we all have to be morally consistent now on reality TV?
I'm just saying, I wish that Kaylor would hold a little bit more of the same energy for Aaron. She never really has. And I was glad
Yeah.
at the reunion that we got to see Kaylor stand up for herself to a degree. And I wish that was still the Kaylor we were still seeing. But I do think this is probably the more compelling Kaylor anyway.
It's weird because it's like she's so eager to talk to him, but it's also like very strange of like, look, well, I'm still blocked and I'm blocked. And so like, is she trying to get unblocked? Is she trying to slide into his DMs? Like, what is her goal here? She just kissed a guy in a porta potty.
I think maybe the weirder one was, while I think it's healthy for her to not be bothered by Aaron talking to girls, the way in which she talked about it in confessionals was a little odd also, of like, I find it entertaining, it's hilarious, do it, keep doing it. Like, maybe we don't need to comment that much on it.
Well, but it was also really funny because Connor brought over like 3 Kaylor clones to Aaron to try to get him back on the horse. And it's like, okay, we got it. It seems like he has the same type as Pepe.
What did you think about the conversation that Aaron had with those girls?
I gotta say, I didn't clock a single word that was said in this conversation. It was like the adults and Peanuts talking to me.
I think that's fair. And I think it kind of was the same for Aaron because he was not interested. Now, what happened, and I can't tell if they meant for us to think that Aaron was rude, is they were like, oh, like, is it not like a summer? Like, do you not have a good summer where you're like in London? And he was like, well, no, the summer is not awesome in London, which is 6 hours from where I live, driving on the other side of the country. And I was like, are we supposed to think Aaron's rude? Because I don't really. I feel like I think these girls are kind of rude.
Yeah, I took the same away from that. They were definitely being more rude than him. And also like, we're obviously, you and I are both in North America. And I think in North America, there can be a lot of appetite for like going on a long drive and like it being a day trip of like 3 hours each way, even for something. From what I know of the UK, that is no. Like they don't want to drive 30 minutes, let alone 6 hours. So I would guess that he does not spend much time in London at all.
I don't want to drive 6 hours either. I mean, if someone was like, "Oh, what's it like in Chicago?" Like, I've been once. I don't know. I can't tell you. Yeah, and that is not the farthest in the country away from me, which is, going to be a very similar distance of asking Aaron about London. So I don't
Yeah.
think they were like intentionally being rude, but I don't think that his response was like that out of pocket by any means.
No, I think like for someone to be, it's like if someone was like, "Oh, Kirsten, like what's Toronto like?" And I
Yeah.
literally live across the country and I'd be like, "Why is that your only like point for Canada? Like you don't actually have to name drop a city if you don't know that much about it. It's fine."
So was what it was, but overall we're just getting the same of Aaron's not interested in talking to girls. It's not going to happen. As much as Connor keeps saying there are single girls here, I thought Aaron's line of like, well, they'll be leaving single was very funny.
Yeah, no, I liked that a lot. What I did not like was Connor being like, there are so many gorgeous girls in LA and they're not even looking for anything serious. Like, come on, Aaron. It's like, Connor, why are you so invested in Aaron's love life? It's weird. Worry about your own self. You have 4 friends at your birthday party. Like, is that not more pressing?
Connor is supposedly hooking up with somebody, but that's another secret. This damn show and their secrets. So where was she? Why was she not at the party?
Yeah, that he has a girlfriend. She lives in Canada. They met at summer camp. Okay.
I want to know because otherwise there should be someone here. There should be someone else. If she doesn't want to be featured on the show, I'm still whatever, but just the issues are stacking up. Like
I
Liv and
don't believe
Kaylor's.
she's real.
I do. I'm not
I
gonna
believe
dispute
that
that.
Connor doesn't have game and he wants to have an excuse for not flirting with people
I
on the
don't think
show
that's
because
it.
it won't work out.
I don't think that's it,
I don't
but
believe
who
she's
knows?
real. He has a girlfriend in Canada.
So the other main issue here is that while you think Connor is incapable of talking to someone at this party, it feels like that's actually Kaylor who is standing in the corner by herself, making it about as awkward as possible for everybody involved.
Like, if you don't want your drama to impact other people, then you just have to pretend it doesn't exist for the evening. You can't just stand there and be like, oh, this is so weird. I don't know what to do. And so, like, Liv is with Kendall, and Kendall's trying to encourage Liv to talk to Kaylor. But Liv is like, I don't want to talk to Kaylor unless Kaylor wants to talk to me. But Kaylor doesn't want to talk to Liv. And Kaylor does say this is not the time or place, which is correct. But she also didn't have that level of forethought literally last week. So
My thing is, Liv says that she thinks the person who has the issue with someone should be the one to try to fix said issue. Do you think that's true?
no.
I don't either. And that's my issue. Is I
I
feel like
think
if my friend has an issue with me, I would be concerned with finding out what that issue was and how I could fix that. And if I'm not concerned, I either don't think their issue is valid or I'm not interested in continuing the friendship.
yeah, to me it's like the person who has the issue needs to be the one to first broach the issue because you
Yes.
might not know an issue exists at all, right? So like, yeah, you can't just like silently have an issue with someone and then expect them to read your mind and come to you to fix it. But Kaylor has let Liv know that there's an issue. And so now I do think it's on Liv to go to her and like try to find out more about what really is at the heart of the issue and how she can make it better and fix it. And also, it would really behoove her to do that because then she can choose the venue for the conversation. She could be like,
Yeah.
come to my apartment and we'll have a conversation. And it
Do you
would
want to
be
see my crib?
want to come back to it's very funny to me that Kaylor non-ironically referred to her home as her crib.
Yep. It's not ideal.
Like, this is not like what are you doing? It's so weird. She comes in, she's like, this is where the magic happens. But so yeah, I completely disagree. I think at this point the ball is in Liv's court to fix it
Yeah.
now that she knows what the issue is. Kaylee does go over to say hi to Liv after Kaylor pushed her to do it a million times. I felt like they had like an awkward surface level conversation. She implies that like Kaylor's not really hurt because she's not moving in such a way as someone who's hurt would act, which I think is a little bit silly.
Yeah.
I felt like this conversation was so weird and stilted what we actually saw of it. And then while that's happening, Connor actually stops to check in on Kaylor, which was very friendly of him.
It was nice, but take time out of his own birthday party with his many friends that were there.
His 2.5 friends.
He makes time for Kaylor, and so he checks in on with her. And I thought this was good, but I don't know that any point he was going to make was really going to be well received when he points out, like, hey, I also was not invited to this nice out. And Kaylor's like, you didn't live with her. It's different. Don't talk to me. And that pretty much Kaylor's gonna go.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. We're like, why, Connor, why would you be at the birthday party? You're not friends with any of these people. It's such a ridiculous comparison to make. I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't the birthday party and it was a night out. It's not as if all of their friends were there and Kaylor was only one purposefully excluded. So I understand that like Liv and Kaylor are best friends, but it's not as if they were hanging out with like Liv and PPG were hanging out and it was like a girls' night that they purposefully excluded Kaylor. So I don't think it's an exact one-to-one, but I understood what he was trying to say.
It was not hitting for me or for Kaylor. And Kaylor's like, I'm sorry, I've got to go. I just can't do this. And she literally comes and pulls Kaylee away from Liv, like not even acknowledging Liv's existence. Like, we've got to go. This is not it.
Yeah. Yep. At which point, like, fades to black. the moment is over. Connor's party is over. And 3 days later, we pick back up where JaNa and Liv are showing up to lunch. And I immediately knew something is up because they're sitting on the same side of the table. I was like, Liv knows she's involved in this. And we find out that JaNa has, in fact, taken it upon herself. She will be mending fences, and she invited Kaylor here without telling her that Liv will be here.
JaNa has parent trapped Kaylor and Liv. This is our second time seeing a parent trap on a Love Island franchise in a week, and I'm living for it. Like, this happened, and I'm like, yes, JaNa really is that girl, and she always has been.
I think this is a good move, honestly. At a certain point, they were going to drag this all season. And if they choose to continue to not be friends after this, well, guess what? We've had the sit down. You were sober. It was in a sit down that was purposefully for this. There was, I understand, under false pretenses, but this was the venue to do it if you are going to. So, regardless of how this part of the conversation goes, I think this is really the deciding factor.
Yes. JaNa is putting on her best Mark L. Wahlberg from Temptation Island and sitting them down and telling them to each say their piece without interrupting each other and really like speak it out. And Kaylor says that she hates arguing with Liv, but she came from the heart and she does apologize for catching Liv off guard, which I think it's silly, but it did need to happen for this conversation to move forward.
Yeah, I think that it made sense. You know, I thought that it was good for Kaylor to take accountability and that, like, maybe I didn't do this in the best setting. Maybe you felt attacked, and I understand that, but here are my issues. And I don't think they're doing the best job of not interrupting each other. It feels like every other sentence, someone is jumping in.
Yeah. But at least they're getting a full sentence out, you know?
Yeah.
It could be worse. It could be worse. And
That is true.
Liv is like, well, this wasn't my birthday. Like, come on. And Kaylor's like, yeah, but there was all these other things that led up to it. And Liv's like,
Which,
I mean that, like the hair and makeup.
JaNa does a good job when the camera comes up yet again of being like, wait a minute. She knows the answers, but did we address the camera before? Liv, did you apologize? Kaylor, did you accept the apology? You can't keep bringing it up once you've accepted the apology.
And thank God for JaNa, because if I have to hear about this goddamn camera one more time, it's been 2 episodes, and I'm like, nobody cares about the camera. Nobody cares.
It's not about the camera. No, it's not. And I think that becomes infinitely more clear where Liv, admits she should have checked in more, but she has the issue with the boy. And Kaylor talks about how she has trust issues because of her childhood, because of the home that she was in, and she didn't feel like she could trust people. So knowing that, Liv should have been more sensitive because of the trauma, and they both don't really know where to go from here. I'm left kind of in the middle. I think fair. Kaylor has trauma surrounding this, and so I understand a larger reaction, but at the same time, feels like there's more logical excuses that Liv is giving over the course of these couple episodes.
I might be in the wrong here,
okay.
And I'm open to being in the wrong. But Kaylor is recognizing that trust has been broken and she has issues with trust because of a trauma response, which is totally fair. I think at the point that you're recognizing that your trauma response because of what happened to you in the past is now impacting present relationships, and you know that that's what's happening. It's not just like happening in the background and you don't realize that's the problem. I think you really need to bring in some professional help to help you with your trust issues, so that you can stop your past from hurting you in the present all the time.
Yeah. I think that even if Liv knows about this, it's not a one-to-one. And so I think it is hard to continue to justify blaming Liv entirely here. And so, look, she's apologized for the camera. She's apologized for not inviting her when maybe she should have, etc. But either at a certain point we accept the apologies and move on, or we're not friends anymore. And Kaylor follows through on her threats of it will never be the same. I don't want to be her best friend. I don't want to be her friend. I don't see her in my life. Well, then follow through on it. I don't know that we need to continue having this conversation otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like everything has kind of been said that can be said. And so this is the point where you either decide, do we carry on forward together or do we carry on forward separately and just make it happen? I do think that this will not be fully resolved when we get to episode 3.
No.
I think that there will continue to be drama between Kaylor and Liv probably all season. And if we have to keep talking about the camera every episode, I will be having a mental breakdown.
I will be maybe seeing more and more of Liv's side the more we have to talk about the camera.
Exactly. Precisely. But also, if Liv doesn't give me a goddamn crumb about her personal life, I will also be having a mental breakdown.
I was going to say, if we talk about the camera in episode 4, I will be following Liv on Instagram. And if we do not hear about Liv's personal life, I will be unfollowing by episode 5. So tell me what we're doing here.
Okay. I love this. What a perfect plan. Yeah. So that's Love Island Beyond the Villa episode 2. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to bring up?
No, I feel like I am very excited for episode 3. This was a good continuation of the premiere. I'm hoping we get even more storylines introduced. I hope that we do, in fact, see JaNa and Connor at some point have a discussion, even if there's not a lot of resolution. I feel like the point of having this series is to address things that were unaddressed. And so hopefully some of that happens.
Agreed. And we'll see what happens next. So episodes now moving forward will be coming out at 9 p.m. on Peacock / Crave in Canada. And so we will have the episodes out ASAP after the podcast episodes out ASAP after the actual episode drops. And we are so excited to hear y'all's thoughts on this show, whether that's in the comments on YouTube, on the RHAP YouTube, or if that is in a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts under We Know Love Island. We are very close to 250 reviews on the We Know Love Island feed, and it would be so nice to hit that mark.
Indeed, so nice. It would be.
And that being said, until the next episode of Love Island Beyond the Villa, Scally, where can the people find you?
People can find me over on the Free Agents podcast with Matt Ligori talking about The Challenge. Season 41, episode 0 is dropping very shortly. So make sure to come check us out over there. And then otherwise popping up on the Big Brother coverage. Whenever that happens, you'll know on Twitter at Brian_Scally, on Blue Sky at Brian Scally, on Twitch at BScally. And Kirsten, where can they find you?
Yes, you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What. That's Twitch, that's TikTok, that's Instagram, that's Blue Sky. I'm all over the place. And you can also listen to Mess Magnets with myself and Sasha Joseph every week, talking pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics, and also on the We Know 90 Day Fiancé feed. You'll get to hear both of us this week. That was really fun to record because it happened in the past. And that is all for now for Beyond the Villa episode 2. We will see you next time for episode 3. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.